Hi, this is Rick Paris. Welcome to Conscious Reality Creator. This is a video about receiving and understanding better how to get what you want. Receiving, for most people, is, I'm just going to receive. I'm just receiving. I'm open. Whatever the universe wants to give me. It's like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Now, with that said, the entire universe, as you experience it, is made out of love. The whole thing is love. Every action, everything ultimately is a function of love. The most heinous crimes ever committed were because of love. So the whole thing is out of love. You're receiving all the time. That's really all you're doing. Consciously receiving, that's a whole nother thing, and that's what we're going to talk about today, mostly. Because when you come into this experience, you're 100% receiving. People are walking you, talking to you, keeping you warm, carrying you around, feeding you, taking care of you when you cry. You're not thinking, you don't even know how to think yet. You're just 100% receiving. And then what happens is, that receiving is slowly eroded. And it's eroded for a reason. It's eroded because you couldn't be a conscious reality creator if I just came into experience and everything was handled for me. I have to develop, I have to grow, I have to come to the ability to actually consciously receive. Because in the universe, like a lot of people are always like, I just want to stay peaceful and in harmony. I just want to stay here. You can't create anything in harmony. You go to harmony to initiate creation, but then you have to create dissonance in order for it to happen, because the thing that you want is a change. It's a change. It's a change in harmony to have what I want. So if you're not comfortable with chaos and you're not comfortable with change, you're actually not going to receive very well. So receiving is eroded, and of course it's eroded in different ways. You know, your parents could have taught you. Receiving is, you earn. You earn a living, you earn your way, you earn the right to have whatever it is you want. So receiving isn't really palpable. It really isn't open. They're like, receiving? What do you mean receiving? It's earning or reward. Sometimes reward is fine. I could be rewarded for something that I did or something that I'm doing, right? And that's perfectly fine. But receiving is a willful act. And what you have to understand is, just like all things in physical reality, receiving is an energy. And that energy can either come across as friend, or that energy can come across as a foe, depending on your relationship with receiving. Because whatever is coming, you're receiving. You're always receiving. Now, of course, you're receiving through the filters of your ego and your subconscious and your unconscious, because that's what that's what calibrates me. My belief constructs, the way my ego uses my negative belief constructs to frame things. So receiving has to be understood. The first thing you have to understand, it's an energy, not good, bad, ugly. It's not anything the universe is going to give it to me. The universe does not give you anything. This is very important to understand. The universe is the realm of possibility. When I died and left the universe, in a sense, metaphorically, it returned to a space of physical possibility. It's a space that exists. When you're outside of this space, it's its own particular set, and its set is possibility in the physical. So when you're outside of it, you basically make some choices and decisions, and when you jump into possibility, it reflects choices and decisions that I made. So the universe is just a reflection of choice and decision. It's a set of beliefs. It is not this being that connects to the goddess The goddess just said, here's a space that's an illusionary space that you could do whatever you want in. Have fun, bye. And then she's not really here anymore, but she can come here anytime you ask. She doesn't come here unless she's asked. God doesn't come here unless he's asked, in a sense. And he has to be asked from a powerful place, not a weak place. So receiving from the universe, if you're going to sit there and go, I just want to receive what the universe gives me, you're actually taking a chance on it coming as an enemy. Because if what you need right now is punishment because you did something, because of your belief constructs, and you say, I'm going to receive something, it could very well come to be something that you don't like or didn't want. Maybe you receive a sickness because that sickness is going to lead you to more empowerment. So you see, receiving needs to be focused. It needs to be understand it's energy. It's energy information. And so you have to learn to understand how to utilize that energy. And that energy, I like to see it as a horse, because the metaphor works in my mind. So if it's an energy, and it's a powerful energy, it needs to be responded to. If I'm going to call this energy in, now I must harness this energy. I have to lead this energy. And this doesn't quite fit in the metaphor, but I need to generate this energy. Because this energy that is receiving is very powerful. It's what you came in with. It's what you really know underneath all the flotsam that you've taken on in the process of separating from it. So in order for me to have this powerful energy that really, when you get more advanced in conscious reality creation, and you can't skip, you can't just say, well, why don't I just receive everything? You could receive everything. The problem is you got a lot of patterns in the way of receiving. So when I say I want love, I end up getting a chance to martyr myself, because really I have a belief that love is martyring yourself, suffering, struggling for love. So when I say I want love in my life, I get chances to martyr myself. You see, you're receiving. Right then, you're still receiving. So if I can't respond to this energy, harness this energy, direct this energy, and know that I'm actually generating this energy, I'm not going to be able to direct it with any consistency. I'm not going to be able to manifest what I want. Some of the resistances that you have to understand, right, is an important thing. What would my resistances be around receiving? So one of the resistances is I was taught that receiving you earn. That's what I was taught. Shame gets in the way of receiving because I don't deserve. Guilt gets in the way of receiving because guilt's another anesthetic. Not like self-pity, but it's another anesthetic. It's a way of avoiding anger. So that's going to block me from receiving. The dark law, which I've never talked about, and I probably will do a video on that one day, but just in a nutshell, we all have a deep subconscious construct that we have a dark law in place. And that dark law basically makes sense out of all the dark chaos in my life. All the excuse when things aren't going my way, what is it that I say? And that's the whole video that I will do another time. But I just want you to know you have a deep shift inside, a law inside of you that could be blocking you from receiving. Like if I have a deep law is that I'm not good enough and I'm never going to get what I want. I'll never find love. Things like that, dark law that's going to inhibit me from receiving because I really have another belief that's going to circumvent any kind of love getting in that way. Your ego, Avi, your ego could block you from receiving because your ego, I, is giving you the content. Of course, I've talked about this already too in another video. And that ego is basically giving you your negative belief constructs. So it can block you from receiving because it could tell you, I don't deserve that, and who do you think you are? Get asking for something so grand as that, right? So that could block you. Control. Control is the antithesis to love. It's the antithesis to freedom, creativity, and it really is the antithesis to receiving. Because I'm in control, I am not going to take a chance that I'm going to receive this. I'm going to force this thing. If control didn't work, I don't know where the world would be today if control didn't work. But ideally, when you elevate yourself and you become more conscious and you become more enlightened, you start taking out the things that are inhibiting you. And then when you understand how I'm wired, how I've done things I've healed, then I start opening to receiving, because receiving is a willful act. I have to be engaging my reality creating tools. Another video for you there if you haven't seen it. So if I'm able to engage these tools, I can utilize willfully receiving. Because the truth is, there's nothing you can't receive. And some things in life are impossible to earn and nearly impossible to be rewarded for. Like if you want to supersede yourself in your life, say, I make $50,000 and I really want to make $250,000. How do you earn that when I'm working as hard as I can for this 50? How am I going to earn 250? It's like, I can't work anymore. But I could receive it. You could receive it. But that, you have to understand a lot about yourself to be able to receive that. These resistances have to be handled in order to be open that I could receive at that level. There's also some deep resistances. Those are more surface level. There's also some resistances that are more esoteric. Like, since people are so afraid to feel, this is why they go into control when they want something. I'm so afraid to feel not good enough. I'm so afraid to trust that I could have it that I just can't do it. I just can't. It's if I love and I open that much and I don't get it, it's going to be so painful to me that I'd just rather not. I'd rather just control, do it the long way. I'll get there, right? It's like I'm not open. So that's going to be a blockage. And like I said before, since everything's based in love and it's based in either I'm trying to get love or I'm trying to keep the love I have, receiving means I have to let go of the love I know for a greater love. And sometimes that love is so precious and so important that I can't open it up to change. Because if I open to receiving, this love has to die in lieu of something better. And that's too scary. I'm too afraid to lose what I have. And another thing that'll keep you from receiving is just too much pain. I'm in too much pain underneath, and I can't be open to that. I'm trying to protect myself, and I'm trying to keep myself from being hurt all the time. And what happens is, when you're protecting yourself from pain, when you have a lot of pain, you have to have a shield. That's my defensiveness and my shame and my guilt. It keeps me protected inside this shield. But because I'm protected in this bubble, nothing gets in and nothing gets out. I can't receive when I'm in this place. When I'm utilizing these qualities to be responsible, if I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to be willful about creating, I have to know what it is I want, and I have to set that. I have to start, the responsibility is I start imagining what it is I want. Then I start desiring. In that imagination, as I'm painting that picture of what I want, I'm going to get more excited. My emotions and my desire comes up. And so that picture, that imagination that's based in the future has to be clear. It has to be emotional to me. I have to get into it. That's the responsibility, because I also have to fully expect that I'm going to get what I'm imagining. I'm going to get it. Because if there's something out in you, you are going to receive. But like I said, if I want love, I have to be looking. And if martyr comes, I have to be willing to make a shift, and I have to heal something in myself and recognize, oh, wow, I was going for love and I got another chance to martyr myself. I need to heal that, because if I'm not willfully engaged in what I want, I'm not even going to recognize what does come, because something is always going to come. If I don't harness that, if I don't recognize this is an energy that I'm inviting in and I'm generating it, you're not just sitting there open. Open to what? That's like going out like, I'm going to have sex tonight. And I'm just going to pick whoever picks me. I'm just open to the universe. And the first person that says they want to go home with me, I take it. I don't even look at it. I don't care. You could be receiving a nightmare. You could be receiving an STD for that matter. Because I'm just open. That's what I wanted and I'll take it. So I have to decide what I'm going to let in. And that decision has to be in alignment with my imagination. If this person doesn't look like the person, doesn't feel like the person I was imagining, I'm not going to take that. I have to say no. I have to be responsible with what it is I'm creating. You just can't open, I'm just going to get the universe to it. The universe is just a mirror. It's not going to give you what you want if you haven't told it what you wanted. And you have to do it in the language of a conscious reality creator. I have to use the tools. And so I need to direct, and that's directing. If somebody comes and I'm going to sleep with them, and I really was in my imagining, what got my desire going was a 6-foot-tall blonde guy that looked like this, like Brad Pitt, and he looks like Chevy Chase, I'm just going to take that because the universe gave it to me. No, that's not in alignment. You have to say no. You have to say, no, that's not what I was after. And at the same time, no, not good enough. No, that's just not what I was going for. I have to direct that energy because it's coming. Now, if Chevy Chase shows up instead of Brad Pitt, there's a reason that that's the best I can do. That doesn't mean I'm going to sleep with him because I'm receiving it. I have to direct, I have to harness, and know I'm generating. That's the best I'm generating right now. So I have to find, what do I have to recognize, acknowledge, forgive myself. I have to recognize, wow, that's not at all what I was imagining, and understand, why am I getting Chevy Chase? Like, you just got to go through the long division in order to get what you want. Receiving is this. It's not this and this. It's this. By choice, by guiding what it is I see. I have to expect Brad Pitt. That's my expectation. If it doesn't look like that, I'm receiving. Woo, I'm receiving. That's great. Not like, oh, that's not good enough. I'm going to go with self-pity because it's not good enough. That's not good. That's not what I wanted. I wanted Brad Pitt. Why do I get Chevy? I always get the Chevy Chases, right? I go into self-pity instead of staying active, instead of staying focused on what I want. Receiving is a willful act. It is not waiting for Godot. Again, you know how to do this. Everything is a function of receiving. It's, how can I do it better? How can I utilize this resonance, this energy that I'm not only generating, to be responsible for it, to direct it, to harness it, to be powerful in what it is I want, to powerfully say no, without going into self-pity or going into martyr or being upset and guilt. Just, that's what I want. Because a lot of times, when you're a woman, guys are trying to hit on you all the time. There's way more no's than there are yeses. Receiving is the same way. If it's what I want, you'll recognize it right away, and boom, you immediately go into gratitude, because gratitude is a generator. Gratitude is going to generate more. So receiving is a willful act. It is not hanging out waiting for something to happen. If you have any questions about receiving, write them in the comments. I will answer you. Receive help, right? Be willful about it. Go, you know what, I want to know more. Then write a question down. If I like the question, I may just make a whole nother video on that question, but I will respond to you.